Newsmakers Week with Bickley and Marotta Mornings, Arizona State University.
Yeah, time to talk some ASU football during Newsmakers Week 2025 as we check in with the head coach of the Big 12 champion Sun Devils, Kenny Dillingham, joining us for Newsmakers Week 2025. Kenny, good morning. How are you?
Kenny!
I'm good. How are y'all?
Good. How's I imagine an offseason as the Big 12 champion beats the heck out of last year's offseason. How's it gone so far for you this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to both, for sure. I mean, now everybody thinks that, we should just instantaneously, win 12 games, 11 games every year. So that's exciting. But the reality for us is, it's a new season. It was a great season. It was great memories. But we got to move on as a football team. The fans can still celebrate. I'm great about that.
Yeah.
But we have to move on as a program.
You hit on something that a lot of longtime ASU fans, yourself being one, you're very familiar with, and that is the sustaining of success for this football program. Through your eyes now, in your office, what is the biggest key to, in your mind, prevent this from being a blip of success and to sustain it?
Yeah, I think is how do you create the emotional investment that our guys had last year, our staff had last year, the mindset of every game we were counted out. How do you get that emotional investment back again? And it's not back again on Saturday, week 3, week 1. It's back again on Tuesday during gassers. Mm-hmm. How do you get that emotion back? And I think that's the challenge this offseason is, can we get our guys to be as emotionally invested, our coaches to be as emotionally invested as we were last year? Because I feel like that vulnerability that our guys had last year really bonded them together, and it grew the football team.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to replace. It's a hard thing to duplicate. It's a hard thing to get in any sports team, and you guys were able to pull that off. When you take a look and you're talking with recruits now, what has changed? What did last year do to the perception of ASU football in the minds of people you're recruiting?
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole different, last year it was all, this is our process, this is what we're going to be, this is what we're about. We're about being a good person, we're about making good decisions, we're about having more fun, working harder than anybody in the country. And people said, well, I still want to win. Are fans going to show up? I go to games and they're 50% sold out last year. Like, are fans going to show up? Are you guys going to win? It all sounds good. I like you. This year, we had 2 field rushes. Yeah, fans show up. Great. Are there good environments? Oh, yeah, we sold out. We had the largest student section back-to-back weeks in the history of the program. We have more season ticket sales. Can you guys win? We just did. So all these questions that people had about our program, it's like, okay, well, what about the sanctions? Well, they're over, essentially. We have a little bit left, but it's basically ending. We're just checking boxes of things that usually people kind of tear down this program with. And I think the investment from the community, the fans, season ticket sales, all of that is it's huge. And to be able to show those environments here in Tempe, it's a huge thing when we're talking recruiting.
Kenny Dillingham, the head coach of the Arizona State Sun Devils, our guest here during Newsmakers Week. Obviously, the state of college football now is, even after a successful season, I think there's a lot of fans that are holding their breath and wondering, all right, who's going to leave the program? Who's going to be lured away? Yet, after you guys performed so well in the college football playoff, fans were met with this parade of players announcing that they're coming back, and it starts with Sam Levitt, the quarterback, and it continues with Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver. And those guys are so tight. I mean, I see them around town. I attend a Suns game sitting in the front row. What does their partnership/friendship mean to the whole culture for ASU football moving forward, as you see it, Kenny?
Yeah, those 2 guys, Xavier Alford, Skrilla, Ben, Jacob Kandika, CJ Fight, Clayton Smith, Prince Dorba, Crook, Keyshawn. I mean, I could go on with the guys who had opportunities to leave that want to be here. Those 2 particularly, I think they're both guys who nobody knew about Sam, and people knew that Jordan had a good freshman year, but there was a lot of question marks, and they kind of came on the map together. So I think that relationship really built. But what I think it shows with all these guys choosing to come back, and especially nowadays in college sports, is guys can leave whenever they want. So when your best players are really still recruits, so they have a choice to be there or not. So when your best players are choosing to stay here, it means they have real relationships. They really actually enjoy the school. They actually enjoy the city. Like, they actually are members of the community of the Valley. They're one of the people. They're one of us. Like, they want to be here. And I think in today's day and age in college sports, having a group of guys that truly want to be here is pretty special, and I do not take it lightly. I spend more time with our own players than I do recruiting. Because I truly believe in that model. I believe that you pour into the people who want to be here, and I think that all these guys coming back is pretty special.
Yeah.
Having a vested coaching staff the way you do, the guys who are doing it for the right reasons, you've talked about the great diversity. You've got some guys who have come from high school and they're ready to sweep the floor for you at the end of practice if you need it. You've got guys like Hines Ward all the way down the line. What does that mean in helping build that special kind of day-to-day bond that you guys had last year?
Yeah, number one thing is good person. Like, one person can ruin a culture. Like, you could take the most beautiful, the best made ice cream. I'm an ice cream guy, as you can probably tell. Right? The best ice cream you've ever eaten in your entire life. And you could take a little bit of Tabasco and put it in that thing, and it's over. Like, what happened? And I love Tabasco, but it's over. The ice cream sucks now. So when every single person that is in the organization has to be part of what we envision it to be, and that's what I said earlier, to be a good person, making decisions, they have to be in it for the right reasons. And I think we truly have a staff that's like that. And the combination for me is, I don't want 30 Kenny Dillinghams here. Like, I don't want that. That's horrible. I want everybody to be themselves, everybody with different backgrounds, everybody with different experiences. That way, this morning I went into Hines Ward's office and I said, hey, you've done this more than anybody else. You've led a team, right, that had success, and you created a culture. How did you guys, like, do it again? How did you get your leaders to do it again and work again and believe again? What was that like? And I'm like, I want you to go meet with some of our leaders of this team to, like, talk about what you did when you were in their shoes in this moment, because I think that's what it's about. It's about stealing knowledge from as many people as you can. And I think we have a lot of different people with a lot of different knowledge that we can just kind of use to make our football team and our program better.
All right, one last question about Cam Scadaboo, because I love him so much. What is going to be the legacy that he left? From what he did the last couple of years, what is going to linger? What's going to help you build upon?
Yeah, I think for him, people are always going to remember his style of play and his passion. I think those are two things that are absolute no-brainers for him. People are going to remember just the old school, rugged, run you over, like, play super hard, do everything. They're going to remember that. They'll remember some plays, but I think they're going to remember more of an image. This folk hero, this dude who did it all. I think they're just going to remember that, the image of Cam kind of doing everything and being this old school guy that helped one of the best seasons in the history of the program.
Last thing, Kenny, and we've talked to you about your infectious energy for 2 seasons now, and coming off the season that you guys had and capturing the imaginations of this town. How has everyday life changed for Kenny Dillingham just walking around Phoenix?
Yeah, I definitely get, I can still sometimes go incognito, but I definitely get recognized more. I definitely, have more eyes. I'm very aware of people watching me, so I definitely get recognized more. And, I would say my space is probably more limited to now than it was in terms of just being able to go and kind of disappear. That's definitely going away. But that's all a positive.
Yep.
at the end of the day, the longer you're somewhere, they're either going to recognize you for sucking or recognize you for being good. And I'd much rather somebody come over and want to take a photo than somebody look and snap a photo of me, say, this guy sucks, right, and text it to their friends. So hopefully I can continue in that trend and the program can continue in the right direction. So I'm not getting the weird photos taken of me sent in a group chat of this guy sucks, and people come up and, say hello, introduce themselves, and get a photo, and we hang out for a few seconds and then get about the business.
Yep. Kenny, thanks so much for spending some time with us today.
Yeah.
Good to catch up with you.
I appreciate it. Go Devils.
Thanks,
Hey,
Kenny
Kenny.
Dillingham, head coach of the Arizona State Sun Devils, our guest
The
during
best.
Newsmakers Week 2025. Tabasco and ice cream. That would
Great analogy.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.